Good afternoon. We will bring the Committee on Ways and Means back to order. And just to give everyone a lay of the land, we're going to do a few bill hearings, and we have some work sessions that we're going to do. Then we're going to take another recess. And then we will be going back to the floor, and then we will come back here. So we're in for a long day and night. Don't give me that look. So later. We're going to open the hearing for Assembly Bill 404. No, we're not going to do you. We're going to put you off. We will open the hearing for Assembly Bill 412. And 412 is a measure which revises provisions relating to emergency response in schools. Good afternoon and welcome to Ways.
Thank you, Chairman Ro Moreno. Thank you, members of the committee. Joe Dahlia, for the record, Joedalia, representing Assembly District 29. I'm here proudly presenting Assembly Bill 412, as amended by our May 15th, 2025 amendment provided by Solid Consulting. This bill is about campus safety for our K-12 institutions. It provides for the creation of an account under the Nevada Division of Emergency Management to be used for the purpose of allowing local organizations for emergency management to contract in consultation with law enforcement and,
Assembly Member Dahlia, is your mic on? And if it is, go ahead,
Yes.
just pull the microphone down a little. We've
Sure.
had a little trouble
Is
with
this
that
better?
one. That's better. Thank you.
My apologies. Do you need me to start over? I wouldn't. Okay, let's not do that. Fantastic. Okay. Where was I? So this will allow, this is to provide for school mapping that will better equip our schools to protect kids, educators, and staff in emergency situations ranging from medical emergencies to active shooter situations. In terms of fiscal impact, there is no appropriation in the bill as amended. We also had an initial fiscal note from the Department of Public Safety that we had removed through the amendment process. They have reissued on Nellis an unsolicited fiscal note of $0. And we have email confirmation from the Nevada Division of Emergency Management that as through this amendment, we've provided for a 5% of the money contributed to the account being used for covering program administrative expenses, that gets them to a $0 fiscal note as well. Fine with that. Anything to add? All right, with that, we are ready for questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And we do have a few questions. We'll start with Majority Leader Hodeggy.
Thank you, Chair. And it's not so much a question, it's just a comment. I just wanted to say thank you. I know I'm signed on to this bill as a co-sponsor, but you have literally done everything on this bill, and I know how important this bill is. And so thank you for doing the work on getting those fiscal notes removed and the appropriations so that the policy could go forward, because I think it will make an impact. And so I know this is the fiscal committee, so I'll end it there, but thank you for all the work you've done on it, Assembly Member.
Thank you for the presentation. So, according to your testimony, the Division of Emergency Management has indicated that they would not have any fiscal impact with the amendment, although when it was, as written, when it was under the public safety, there was a fiscal impact. And they're saying just by the fees that they were going to collect in the future, that would take care of any fiscal impact. There's no cost to set anything up, equipment, any of that. And if they're in the room, they can also help and be a phone or friend.
Chris Anderson with Solid Consulting on behalf of Critical Response Group. For the record, yes, that's correct. Chief Brett Compston of NDEM, the Nevada Division of Emergency Management, has conveyed that through our amendment allowing his division to utilize up to 55% of money contributed to the account, that will cover their administrative expenses. And earlier today there was someone from NDEM on deck, but I'm not sure if they're available at this moment.
And then could you just explain to us where the money comes from that's contributed to the account? Where does that originate?
Chris Anderson for the record. The state government could contribute money to the grant account. Local governments can contribute money to the grant account, and the account can accept private donations.
All right, members, any other questions? All right, not seeing any. Thank you so much, and thank you for your patience. We'll invite to the table here in Carson City and in Las Vegas anyone that would like to testify in support of Assembly Bill 412.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair and members of the committee. For the record, my name is Mary Przinski, here representing the Nevada Association of School Superintendents, and we hope that this bill will pass and we can have a little more safety coverage for our students. Thank you.
Thank you. Not seeing anyone else approach the table here in Carson City or in Las Vegas, we are going to go to the phone line, and we'll have a broadcast. Do we have anyone joining us by phone that would like to testify in support of Assembly Bill 412?
Thank you, Chair. We have no callers at this time.
Thank you so much. If there's anyone here that would like to testify in opposition of Assembly Bill 412, I invite you to the tables, both in Carson City and in Las Vegas. And not seeing anyone approach either table, we will go to the phone line, but it is my assumption that we still have no one joining us by phone. Is that correct?
Yes, Chair, that is correct.
Okay, we have recently learned that the phone number that was given out this morning is not working properly. So if you'd like to call in for public comment or for testimony, if you could please call 669-900-6833. The meeting ID will be 897-872-23724. And then please press pound. We will go to neutral. If there's anyone that would like to provide testimony in the neutral position on Assembly Bill 412, I invite you to the table here in Carson City or the table in Las Vegas. And not seeing anyone approach either table, broadcast. Have we had anyone join us utilizing the new phone number?
Thank you, Chair. As of now, we still have no callers for testimony.
Thank you so much. Are there any closing comments? All right, with that, we will close the hearing on Assembly Bill 412. And thank you so much. We like zeros in our fiscal notes. We'll now open the hearing for Assembly Bill 405. It's a measure which revises provisions relating to agriculture. And welcome Assemblymember Flanagan to the meeting.
Good afternoon, and thank you, Chair Monroe Marino and members of the Assembly Committee on Ways and Means. I'm Assemblymember Tanya Flanagan for District 7. I am here to talk about Assembly Bill 405, which expands legislation supporting the development of community gardens and urban farms in food deserts. There was a fiscal note of $165,466 placed on by the Department of Agriculture for a program officer over the biennium with the support of Director Gogachia. That has been removed. If there are any questions, I can expound on what the bill does, or I can take any questions, or as you would like to proceed, Madam Chair.
Well, we can just invite the division to the table to discuss their fiscal note or lack thereof.
Thank you. You beat me.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee, Director Goycochea, GOI, COE, CHEA, Nevada Department of Agriculture. I want to thank the bill sponsor for working with us on this, and we have come to agreement on language where we would not need a program officer for that. There's a lot of this already stood up in statute, and so we will be supportive in the interim and see if we can't get a program up and running.
Thank you so much for that. So, the language, is there an amendment to the original bill, or is what we have before us today the reprint? And it doesn't say a reprint. So is there amended language that brought down?
Yes, Madam Chair, there is amended language. The proposed amendment reads as follows. The Council on Food Security created by NRS 232.4966 shall conduct a study during the 2025-2026 interim to comprehensively evaluate the landscape of the state, utilizing tools established in legislation to determine an effective pathway toward building a sustainable statewide network to address food insecurity. The council shall lead efforts to identify statewide locations where community gardens and/or urban farms could be developed to serve food insecure communities. On or before December 1st of 2026, the council shall prepare and submit a written report describing the results of the study to the Director of the State Department of Agriculture and the Director of the Legislative Council Bureau for transmittal to the 84th Legislative Session.
Thank you so much for that. I see that in an email from the director to you. If you could just put that on your letterhead and get that to the committee, and we can get this bill work session.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair.
Members, any questions? Not seeing any. Thank you, and thank you for hanging out with us all day. I think you've been with us 2 days now, you and your team. We may see a lot more of you before session's over. So with that, we'll call to the table anyone that is here to testify in support of Assembly Bill 405. Good afternoon.
Chair, members of the committee, for the record, my name is Doug Busselman. I'm the Executive Vice President for Nevada Farm Bureau. We are pleased that the fiscal note has been dealt with, and we are looking forward and working with the group at trying to come up with solutions between now and the next session to make this a sustainable program. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair and members of the committee. My name is Shane Piccinini, S-H-A-N-E, P-I-C-C-I-N-I-N-I, with the Food Bank of Northern Nevada. We wholeheartedly support AB 405. Thanks.
Thank you. Not seeing anyone else come to the table in Carson City, we'll go down south. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, committee. My name is Chelsea Weininger, C-H-E-L-S-E-Y, W-I-N-I-N-G-E-R. I'm the Interim Director of Advocacy with 3 Square Food Bank, and we support the bill. Thank you.
Thank you. Not seeing anyone else at either table, I'll give out the number again. If you'd like to call in with testimony, that call-in number is 669-900-6833. And the meeting ID would be 897-872-23724, and then please press pound. Broadcast. By chance, do we have anyone joining us by phone?
To testify in support of Assembly Bill 405, please press star 9 now to take your place in the queue.
Good afternoon, Chair Monroe Moreno and members of the committee. This is Sheila Bray, spelled B-R-A-Y, with the University of Nevada, Reno. We, too, are in support of AB 405. Just like to thank the bill sponsor for bringing this forward and including us in the networking conversations, and look forward to seeing it grow. Thank you.
Thank you. Next caller.
Chair, we have no additional callers for support.
Thank you so much. We will move to opposition. If there's anyone here in the audience in Carson City or Las Vegas that would like to testify in opposition of Assembly Bill 405, I invite you to the tables. And not seeing anyone approach the tables either in Carson City or Las Vegas, we'll go to the phone lines again and see if there's anyone that would like to provide testimony in opposition of Assembly Bill 405.
Chair, we have no callers for opposition.
Thank you so much. We will move to neutral. If there's anyone here that would like to provide neutral testimony on Assembly Bill 405, I invite you to the tables. In Carson City and Las Vegas, and not seeing anyone approach either table, we'll go to the phone lines one last time to see if there's anyone that would like to provide neutral testimony on Assembly Bill 405.
We have no callers for neutral testimony.
Thank you so much. We will ask the sponsor of the bill if you have any closing remarks. She's shaking her head no. With that, we will close the hearing on Assembly Bill 405. Moving on the agenda, we will open the hearing for Assembly Bill 409. It's a measure that revises provisions relating to special license plate. And welcome Assemblymember Hafen to the table.
Thank you, Chair. It's good to be here again. Sure we'll be here again later tonight. My name is Gregory Hafen, the second for the record. I have the honor of representing Assembly District 36. And today I'm here to discuss the fiscal note on Assembly Bill 409, which has to do with special plates for designated veterans. And if you will see, there is a proposed amendment. The reason this bill came forward is last legislative session, we were able to extend free parking at the airports and other local and state facilities to our decorated veterans as a small token of appreciation for their great service to this nation and this great state. However, we discovered that we missed a couple of our decorated veterans, specifically Air Force Cross, Coast Guard Cross, Distinguished Service Cross, Navy Cross, and then most recently discovered we missed our fallen military. And so we wanted to be able to extend that to them. In addition to that, the Department of Motor Vehicles brought to my attention that the state had every veteran license plate out there except for Space Force, and asked that if I would include that. And so that amendment was a friendly amendment that I did include in my original language. And I believe the DMV has a 0 fiscal note on here, but I know that Sean Sever from the DMV is here to speak on that. Thank you.
Thank you. And we'll invite Mr. Sever to the table. I just have a few questions for you.
Thank you, Chair. Sean Sever from the Nevada DMV. We are neutral on AB 409. It is a 0 impact to the DMV. I think our fiscal staff was concerned there was a cumulative impact with all the license plate bills, But since then, we've backed off of that, and it's a zero impact. I do want to mention we get a bad rap on fiscal notes, but most of our fiscal notes are no impact. And so the fiscal notes are truly what fiscal impact bills have on our agency. We even put fiscal notes on our own bills, as you know. So
Yes, we do.
this bill is really for us to add the newest military branch and allow veterans to personalize, all veterans to personalize their license plates. So no impact. Thanks.
Thank you so much. And I had looked over the original fiscal note. So how would you use the in-house programming staff to implement this bill? And how's that going to affect the DMV's current IT workload?
Sean Sever from the DMV. The impact of this is pretty low on hours. So we do hire a contractor after the session to program in these plates. But the impact is, I think, less than 2,000. So it's no impact.
And then how are you going to fund the contracted staff? Because as you mentioned, there are at least 2 other special license plate legislations working through.
Sean Sever, DMV. Actually, I think we were going to do this with in-house staff, the 3 license plates that are out there.
All right, members, any questions? Assembly Member Backus.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. And I was just looking at the proposed conceptual amendment to Assembly Bill 409 that added fallen military, and I just wasn't as familiar with that for the amending, because I know when this started, I thought it was the Space Force plate, and so now it's adding this category, and I was just kind of curious what it was. I just wasn't as familiar with it.
Gregory Hafen, the second for the record. Thank you for the question, Assemblymember Backus. The fallen military is being added to the section that would allow for the personalization of these license plates, as well as the section in the NRS that it provides for free parking. Again, at the state and local facilities, we can't force the federal government to give free parking to our decorated veterans, even though we would greatly appreciate them following our wonderful lead.
Any other questions? All right, not seeing any. Thank you both. If we have anyone that's here that would like to testify in support of Assembly Bill 409, I invite you to the table. Good afternoon. You can go ahead.
Chair and committee members, for the record, my name is Andrew Lee Pilbit. I'm the chairman of the United Veterans Legislative Council here in Nevada, and we're in support of AB 409. They're just to save your concerns financially. There's only 4 cost recipients in the state of Nevada currently. There's 2 Navy crosses, both held by Marines, and there's 2 Distinguished Service Crosses, both held by Army. There are no Air Force crosses in our state, and there's no Medal of Honor recipients in our state currently. So DMV would have to create 4 plates if all 4 of them decided to get new plates. I am one of those 4. So you know, the DSC, the Navy Cross, and the Air Force Cross, and the Coast Guard Cross are the decoration just below the Medal of Honor. There's nothing, that's the only thing higher. I hope that helps you. Thank you.
Thank you. Not seeing anyone else here in Carson City to testify in support, and not having anyone at the table in Las Vegas, we'll go to the phone line. Broadcast, do we have anyone joining us by phone that would like to testify in support of Assembly Bill 409?
Thank you, Chair. At this time, we have no callers for testimony.
Thank you so much. Then we will come back to Carson City. Do we have anyone that would like to testify in opposition of Assembly Bill 409? Not seeing anyone approach the table here, and no one at the table in Las Vegas. And it is my assumption we have no one at all on our phone lines at this time. Is that correct?
Yes, Chair. We have no callers for testimony.
Thank you so much. We will move to the neutral. Is there anyone that would like to provide neutral testimony on Assembly Bill 409? Not seeing anyone approach the table in Carson City or in Las Vegas, and knowing we have no one on the phone line, will ask the sponsor of the bill if you have any closing remarks. He's shaking his head no, and we will close the hearing on Assembly Bill 409. If you are here for Assembly Bill 500, Speaker Yeager has been called into another meeting, so we are going to roll that bill until tomorrow. And if you're here for 404, we'll go ahead and open the hearing on that bill now.
Thank you, Chair, members of the committee. For the record, I'm Howard Watts, representing Assembly District 15 in the heart of Clark County. It's my pleasure to present Assembly Bill 404 for your consideration today. This bill makes various changes relating to the brew pub, or commonly referred to as craft brewing industry. I will note just two things. So on the original version of the bill, the Department of Taxation did submit a fiscal note. Based on the first reprint of the bill, which you have before you, they submitted an updated unsolicited fiscal note indicating that their fiscal impact has been removed. There are two policy amendments. These were issues that arose following the original policy hearing in Commerce and Labor, and given the time, wanted to make sure that we could get these incorporated as well. So I'm glad to answer questions on any of those. These came out of continuing discussions between the wholesalers, the Craft Brew Association, and as well as the Department of Taxation, and all parties are in agreement on this language. So with that, glad to answer any questions that the committee may have.
Well, first of all, I have to commend you. I sat through the policy hearing, and the two sides were far apart during that hearing, so I commend you on being able to bring them together and addressing the fiscal note. Members, do you have any questions for Assembly Member Watts on this bill? Today seems to be the intoxicating beverages day in Ways and Means. All right. Not seeing any questions. Thank you so much. We will invite anyone to the table that would like to testify in support of Assembly Bill 404. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the committee. For the record, Trevor Parrish with the Vegas Chamber. The Chamber's in support from the fiscal perspective. Thank you.
Thank you. Not seeing anyone else approach the table here in Carson City, and no one at the table in Las Vegas. We'll go to the phone line and see if we've had anyone join us to provide testimony in support of Assembly Bill 404.
To testify in support of Assembly Bill 404, please press star 9 now to take your place in the queue. Chair, we have no callers for support testimony.
Thank you so much. We will move to opposition. Is there anyone that would like to provide testimony in opposition of Assembly Bill 404? Not seeing anyone approach the table here in Carson City or in Las Vegas. We'll go to the phone line again and see if there's anyone that has joined us that would like to testify in opposition of Assembly Bill 404.
To testify in opposition of Assembly Bill 404, please press star 9 now to take your place in the queue.
Good afternoon, Alexander Marks with the Nevada State Education Association. We're opposed to this in the policy committee. We're also opposed to it in the fiscal committee. We stand in solidarity with our sisters and brothers at Teamsters 14. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Do we have any other callers?
Chair, we have no additional callers for opposition.
Thank you. Then we will move to neutral. If there's anyone that would like to provide neutral testimony on Assembly Bill 404. Not seeing any at the table here in Carson City and not seeing any at the table in Las Vegas. Do we have anyone on the phone that would like to provide neutral testimony on Assembly Bill 404?
Chair, we have no additional callers for neutral testimony.
Thank you so much, and we'll ask the sponsor of the bill if you have any closing remarks. And with that, we will close the hearing on Assembly Bill 404. Good afternoon, members. We've been hearing bills for the last few weeks and in the last few days, a lot of bills. So we're going to try to work session as many as we can, being that it's a deadline day and we can get some things to the floor, get them voted on, and send them over to the Senate. So most of these measures you've heard recently, and our fiscal staff are going to tag team in doing the presentations. And we are going to start with Assembly Bill 58, which revises various provisions relating to gaming.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For the record, Sarah Coughlin, Legislative Council Bureau Fiscal Analysis Division. AB 58 was heard by the committee on May 15th. It modernizes and streamlines Nevada's gaming regulations. The Gaming Control Board provided a fiscal note of $12,100 in each year of the biennium as a lost revenue. However, they did come and testify during the May 13th on May 13th and indicated that there is no longer a fiscal impact related to this. And Madam Chair, there are no amendments for this bill.
Thank you, members. Seeing there's no amendments, fiscal note has been removed. Are there any questions on Assembly Bill 58? Not seeing any, I'll accept a motion to do pass. Do pass as amended. We have a motion from Assembly Member Bacchus, a second from Assembly Member Hadigi. Any discussion on the motion? Not seeing any. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And the motion carries. and we will assign that floor statement to Assemblymember Koenig. The next bill on our work session will be Assembly Bill 76, which revises provisions relating to cannabis.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For the record, Brody Lizer with the Fiscal Division. Assembly Bill 76 revises various provisions governing cannabis, including but not limited to investigative actions of the Cannabis Compliance Board, disciplinary procedures, confidentiality protections, advertising, licensee inventory control systems, and packaging requirements for cannabis products. This bill was heard on May 21st. Was presented by Director Hum of the Cannabis Compliance Board, the Cannabis Compliance Board, and the Office of Attorney General both indicated that there was no fiscal impact. There was a proposed, was there an amendment? No amendment? Amendment? There. Yes, I'm sorry. Director Hum did walk through a proposed amendment, and that amendment, I believe, was posted as an exhibit to Assembly Bill 76. And so, Madam Chair, the proper motion here would be to amend and do pass as amended.
Members, any questions on Assembly Bill 76? All right, not seeing any, I will accept a motion to amend and do pass as amended.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion from Assemblymember Bacchus, a second from Assemblymember Hadigi. Any discussion on the motion? Not seeing any. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And the motion carries, and we'll assign that floor statement to Assemblymember Mosca. Next, we will open the work session for Assembly Bill 92, which revises provisions relating to elections.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For the record, Sarah Coffin, Legislative Council, Bureau of Fiscal Analysis Division. AB 92 was heard on May 26, 2025. As amended, it requires the use of rooms and space in public buildings to be granted to state and county central committees of a majority political party. There was the Nevada System of Higher Education submitted an updated fiscal note on the bill indicating that they had removed the fiscal impact that was initially identified based off of the amendment. And there are no further fiscal impacts for any state agencies and no amendments that are recommended for the bill.
Members, do you have any questions on Assembly Bill 92? Not seeing any, I will accept a motion to do pass as amended.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion from Assemblymember Bacchus, a second from Assemblymember Hadigi. Any discussion on the motion? Not seeing any, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And the motion carries, and we'll assign that floor statement to Assemblymember Dickman. Moving on, we will open the work session for Assembly Bill 105. 105 revises provisions governing firearms.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For the record, Brody Lizer with the Fiscal Division. Assembly Bill 105 was heard on May 14th. Assembly Bill 105 as amended expands existing Nevada law to prohibit firearms within 100 feet of election sites with specific exemptions for law enforcement, private security, and individuals in vehicles or on private property. There was one fiscal note submitted by the Nevada Department of Corrections that was based on a projected potential increase of one additional offender per year. The agency did testify during the bill hearing that they could not really estimate what the impacts may be, and therefore would be comfortable without addressing the fiscal impact through this bill. So, Madam Chair, the motion here would be to do pass as amended.
Thank you so much. Members, any questions on Assembly Bill 105? Not seeing any. I'll accept a motion to do pass as amended.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion from Assembly Member Bacchus, a second from Assembly Member Watts. Any discussion on the motion? Assemblyman O'Neill.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, since this is a money committee, not a policy committee, I'll vote yes because the money issue has been addressed, but I'll reserve my right on the floor, and as the bill stands now, from a policy, I'll be voting no. Does that make sense to you, Chair?
That made a lot of sense. Thank you so much, and I appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thank you, Chair. Ditto.
Thank you. Thank you. We have a motion and a second, and we've had discussion. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay? And the motion carries, and we will assign that floor statement to Assembly Member Hadigi. Next on our work session agenda is Assembly Bill 160, which creates the Nevada-Ireland Trade Commission.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For the record, Sarah Kaufman, Fiscal Analysis Division. Assembly Bill 160 as amended was heard on May 15th by the Committee on Ways and Means. It establishes the Nevada-Ireland Trade Commission, a 9-member body focused on strengthening economic ties between Nevada and Ireland. There was a small fiscal note from the Governor's Office of Economic Development. However, during the hearing, the Governor's Office of Economic Development testified that they could absorb those costs, and so there is no additional fiscal impact associated with this bill, and there's no amendments recommended, so this would be a do pass as amended.
Thank you so much. Members, any questions on Assembly Bill 160? Not seeing any. I'll accept a motion to do pass as amended, and I think I have a motion from Assembly Member O'Neill. Second. And a second from Assembly Member Bacchus. Any discussion on the motion? Assembly Member Hafen.
Thank you, Chair. Being the Fiscal Committee, I will vote yes out of committee since the fiscal's been removed, but reserve my rights for the floor. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Any other discussion? Not seeing any. We have a motion and a second. All in favor of the motion to do pass as amended, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And the motion carries, and we'll assign that floor statement to Assemblyman Member O'Neill. The next item on our work session agenda will be Assembly Bill 204, which revises provisions relating to medical debt.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For the record, Brody Lizer. Assembly Bill 204, as the chair indicated, revises provisions related to medical debt and provides for various consumer protections related to medical debt collection. The bill was presented by Assemblymember Carter and was presented on May 15th. There was a fiscal note submitted by the Financial Institutions Division of the Department of Business and Industry to support 2 financial institution examiners. However, Assemblymember Carter presented a proposed amendment during the bill hearing, and Mary Young from the Financial Institutions Division did call in during testimony and confirm that the division's fiscal impact would be removed with the proposed amendment. So, Madam Chair, the motion here would be to amend and do pass as amended.
Thank you so much. Members, the fiscal note has been removed on this bill, so any discussion on Assembly Bill 204? Not seeing any, I'll accept a motion to amend and do pass as amended. We have a motion from Assemblymember Bacchus, a second from Assemblymember Hadigi. Any discussion on the motion? Assemblymember Hibbets.
Thank you, Chair. I will vote yes to move it from out of fiscal and reserve my right on the floor.
Thank you so much. Assemblymember Haven.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And the motion carries, and we'll assign that floor statement to Assemblymember Carter. The next item on our work session agenda is Assembly Bill 226, which revises provisions relating to economic development.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For the record, Sarah Kaufman, Legislative Council Bureau. Assembly Bill 226, as amended, was heard in the committee on May 15th. Existing law allows the Office of Economic Development to grant tax credits and abatements to qualified businesses under certain circumstances. Assembly Bill 226, as amended, adds that starting July 1st, 2025, applicants for certain transferable tax credits or abatements must certify that they will collaborate with local communities and submit a community benefit agreement to the office within 2 years of approval. These new requirements apply only to applications submitted on or after that date. There was a fiscal impact that was identified by the Governor's Office of Economic Development. They submitted an unsolicited fiscal note on April 23rd indicating that the amendment addresses the fiscal impact initially identified in the bill, and as such, the fiscal impact has been addressed. And Madam Chair, there are no amendments for this bill, so if you wish, it would be a amend and, a do pass as amended.
Thank you so much. Members, do you have any questions on Assembly Bill 226? Not seeing any, I'll accept a motion.
I'd move to do pass as amended. Second.
Thank you. We have a motion from Assemblymember Bacchus, a second from Assemblymember Hadigi. Any discussion on the motion? Not seeing any. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And the motion carries, and we'll assign that floor statement to Assemblymember Musk. The next item on our work session agenda will be Assembly Bill 320, which revises provisions relating to the administration of justice.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For the record, Brody Lizer. Assembly Bill 320 was presented by Assemblymember Jackson on May 14th. Assembly Bill 320 as amended emphasizes the importance of access to justice and urges Nevada courts not to implement dress code policies that unfairly limit courtroom access. The bill also authorizes the Division of Parole and Probation of the Department of Public Safety to create a pilot program aimed at developing job opportunities and employment readiness training for parolees and probationers. The Division of Parole and Probation submitted a fiscal note on the bill as amended, indicating that as the bill authorizes rather than requires the division to establish that pilot program, there would be no fiscal impact to the division. So, Madam Chair, if you wish, the motion on this one would be to do pass as amended.
Thank you so much. Members, any questions on Assembly Bill 320? Not seeing any, I'll accept a motion.
A motion to do pass as amended. Second.
Thank you. We have a motion from Assembly Member Bacchus, a second from Assembly Member Hadigi. Any discussion on the motion? Not seeing any, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries, and we'll assign that floor statement to Assembly Member Jackson. The next item on our work session will be Assembly Bill 335, which revises provisions relating to education.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Assembly Bill 335 as amended was heard in committee on May 20th, 2025. It revises provisions relating to pupils who are English learners, including the appointment, qualifications, and duties of school district administrators who support English learner pupils. It revises requirements for school improvement plans to enhance academic achievement for pupils, to include methods and goals for closing achievement gaps and mandating English language acquisition training for all district employee teachers. The Department of Education submitted an unsolicited fiscal note on Assembly Bill 335 as amended, indicating a fiscal impact. However, after discussions were had with the sponsor, the Department of Education confirmed in an email provided on May 9th, 2025, that the fiscal impact is no longer applicable. And as such, Madam Chair, there are no recommended amendments. So if you wish, this would be a do pass as amended.
Thank you so much. Members, do you have any questions on Assembly Bill 335? Not seeing any, I'll accept a motion.
Move to do pass as amended. Second.
We have a motion from Assembly Member Bacchus, a second from Assembly Member Hadigi. Any discussion on the motion? Not seeing any, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And the motion carries, and we'll assign that floor statement to Assembly Member Torres Fawcett. Moving on to the next item on our work session is Assembly Bill 345, which revises provisions relating to education.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For the record, Brody Leiser. Assembly Bill 345 was presented by Assembly Member Mosca on May 20th. Assembly Bill 345 as amended requires the Board of Regents to establish and maintain a data dashboard that includes statistical data relating to certain educational and professional outcomes of students on the NSHE Internet website to be made available by September 1st, 2026. The bill also requires the Board of Regents to establish certain guidelines for the use of low-cost and no-cost open educational resources and courses offered at NSHE institutions. And lastly, the bill also requires the Board of Regents to conduct an interim study during the 2025-26 interim relating to financial and food insecurity among students within NSHE institutions, and to present that study, the findings of the study, to the Joint Interim Standing Committee on Education on or before July 1st, 2026. The Nevada System of Higher Education submitted an unsolicited fiscal note on AB 345 as amended, as well as testified during the bill hearing that their fiscal note, that there was no fiscal impact and that they would be able to meet the provisions of this legislation as amended within their existing resources. So if you wish, Madam Chair, the motion here would be to do pass as amended.
Thank you so much. Members, any questions on Assembly Bill 345? Not seeing any, I'll accept a motion.
Motion to do pass as amended. Second.
We have a motion from Assemblymember Bacchus, a second from Assemblymember Hadiki. Any discussion on the motion? Not seeing any. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Then the motion carries, and we'll assign that for statement to Assemblymember Muska.
Thank you, Chair.
Moving on to the next item on our agenda for a work session will be Assembly Bill 352, which revises provisions relating to businesses.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Assembly Bill 352, as amended, was heard by committee on May 20th, 2025. It requires a person who wishes to conduct a cottage cosmetics operation to apply to the State Department of Agriculture for licenses. As introduced, the Department of Agriculture did have a fiscal note for this bill. However, during testimony, the Department of Agriculture testified that it would remove the fiscal impact associated with its fiscal note. In addition, representatives from the Division of Welfare and Supportive Services also had a fiscal note that indicated that they would be covering the associated costs with this with non-general fund sources, and confirmed that it would not require additional general funds. And Madam Chair, there are no recommended amendments for this bill.
Thank you so much. Members, any questions on Assembly Bill 352? Not seeing any. I'll accept a motion.
Move to do pass as amended. Second.
We have a motion from Assemblymember Bacchus, a second from Assemblymember Hadigi. Any discussion on the motion? Not seeing any. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion carries, and we will sign that for statement to Assemblymember Anderson. You are welcome. We will open the work session on our next bill, which was Assembly Bill 376, which revises provisions relating to insurance.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For the record, Brody Leiser. Assembly Bill 376 was presented on May 20th by Assemblymember O'Neill and Adam Plain of the Division of Insurance. Assembly Bill 376 requires the Commissioner of Insurance to establish and administer the Regulatory Experimentation Program for Insurance Product Innovation and sets forth the requirements for the operation of the program. The bill also authorizes an insurer to implement a proposed rate increase or decrease while the proposal is pending approval or disapproval by the commissioner, and sets forth applicable requirements in the event that such a proposal is ultimately disapproved. There was a fiscal note submitted by the Division of Insurance, the Department of Business and Industry, for a new actuarial analyst position. However, during the bill hearing, Assemblymember O'Neill presented a proposed amendment, and during the bill hearing, that proposed amendment, it was confirmed that if the amendment was adopted, that would eliminate the fiscal impacts and fiscal note for the Division of Insurance. Madam Chair, if you wish, motion here would be to amend and do pass.
Thank you so much. Members, any questions on Assembly Bill 376? Not seeing any, I'll accept a motion.
Move to amend and do pass.
I have a motion from Assembly Member Backus, a second from Assembly Member Dickman. Any discussion on the motion? Not seeing any. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And the motion carries, and we'll assign the floor statement to Assembly Member O'Neill.
Thank you, Chair.
You're welcome. The next bill on our work session will be Assembly Bill 503, which revises provisions relating to governmental administration.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Assembly Bill 503 was heard by the committee on May 21st. Assembly Bill 503, as amended, establishes penalties for willfully removing, damaging, or destroying certain critical electrical infrastructure to obtain used utility wire, and for certain persons to purchase or to be in possession of used utility wires. Madam Chair, this bill did originally have fiscal notes on the bill as originally submitted. However, with the amended version, the Department of Corrections removed its fiscal impact, and Clark County had testified that there would actually be a savings related to this piece of legislation. Madam Chair, there are no amendments, so if the committee wishes, this would be a do pass as amended.
Thank you so much. Members, any questions on Assembly Bill 503? Seeing none, I'll accept a motion. We have a motion from Assembly Member Backus, a second from Assembly Member Hadigi. Any discussion on the motion? Not seeing any. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And the motion carries, and we'll assign that floor statement to Assembly Member Torres Fawcett. Moving on to the next item on our work session agenda is Assembly Bill 541, which revises provisions relating to indigent petitioners.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For the record, Brody Leiser. Assembly Bill 541 was presented on April 25th. It was presented by the Governor's Office of Finance Director Greenemeyer and Director Handy of the Department of Indigent Defense Services. Assembly Bill 541 transfers the responsibility of certain costs for post-conviction legal representation services from the State Public Defender to the Department of Indigent Defense Services. This is AB 541 is a budget implementation bill. The Money Committees approved the transfer of these costs to the Department of Indigent Defense Services from the Public Defender on April 14th, 2025 as part of the agency's budget closing. There are no proposed amendments here. So, Madam Chair, the motion here would be do pass.
Thank you so much. Members, any questions on Assembly Bill 541? Not seeing any, I'll accept a motion.
Motion.
We have a motion from Assembly Member Bacchus, a second from Assembly Member Hadigi. Any discussion on the motion? Not seeing any. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries, and I will assign the floor statement to myself. Moving on to the next bill on our work session will be Assembly Bill 543, which revises provisions relating to certain fees for the use of state lands.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For the record, Brody Leiser. Assembly Bill 543 was heard on April 25th. Assembly Bill 543 requires that grazing livestock land lease fees on land under the Division of State Parks be deposited in the account for maintenance of state parks. This also is a budget implementation bill associated with a closing or enhancement decision unit in the state parks budget account that remove this revenue and expense authority from the state parks budget account. There was one proposed amendment during the bill hearing. And so, Madam Chair, the motion here would be to amend and do pass.
Thank you so much. Members, any questions on Assembly Bill 543? Not seeing any. I'll accept a motion. We have a motion from Assembly Member Bacchus, a second from Assembly Member Hadigi. Any discussion on the motion? Not seeing any. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And the motion carries. We'll assign that floor statement to Assembly Member Hibbets. The next item on our work session agenda will be Assembly Bill 544, which revises provisions relating to certain licenses issued by the Division of Public and Behavioral Health of the Department of Health and Human Services.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Assembly Bill 544 was heard by the committee on April 23rd. It provides annual licenses issued for facilities for the for dependent expire 1 year after the date of issuance rather than on December 31st. There was a conceptual amendment that was discussed during the hearing to remove Section 1 of the bill, or excuse me, to remove Section 2 of the bill in its entirety and to revise Section 3 to provide that the bill becomes effective on January 1st, 2026. So if the committee wished to move this, it would be an amend do pass.
Thank you so much. Members, any questions on Assembly Bill 544? Not seeing any. I will accept a motion. We have a motion from Assembly Member Bacchus, a second from Assembly Member Hadigi. Any discussion on the motion? Not seeing any. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And the motion carries, and we'll assign that floor statement to Assembly Member Brown-May. Members, that takes us to 3:45, and I believe there is a caucus meeting and another fiscal meeting, so we will go back into recess, and we'll be back in this room a little bit later today. Thank you. We are in recess.